All right, all right. Hello and welcome everyone to this week on Live Training Tuesday. We are magnet marketers, and our goal is always to help you become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. And today we're diving in to the announcements from Facebook's F8 conference last week and what your brand should know. Before we dive in to all of those announcements, just a quick introduction to myself and my awesome co-host if we've not met before. My name is Jessica Phillips with Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System. My awesome co-host, he's Mike Gingrich. He's the president of Digital Hill, the co-founder of some popular apps, Waftio, Tabsite, and a published author extraordinaire. I know he's got another app to add to the list, but I got to remember the name for that one for next week. But as we kick things off, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to share this out, and maybe you can tell everybody what that app, the newest app name is as well.
Yeah, the one that you wanted to talk about was called Vision Financial Marketing, and so that's
There we go.
CRM and marketing system for financial advisors. So loads of financial advisors in every community across the U.S., and they're trying to manage how they help their clients. So that's what that one is. But excited to kind of dive in today as Jessica gets ready to share this piece out, and we want to talk about the Facebook's F8 conference. Now, just a little background in case that's a new term to you, that type of thing. Facebook has run this for yearly for many years. Goes back, and it's been a developer conference largely. It's kind of evolved over the course of time, but back in the day, it was kind of like hardcore developer conference. This is what they were rolling out in terms of API stuff, so the developers could try to hook into stuff, that type of thing. What it's evolved to now is a little bit more of how kind of Apple has a couple of key events every year where they announce, largely they announce new products. Maybe it's iPhone 8 or iPhone X, those types of things. Facebook's just kind of evolved into that. It's still kind of focused on some development and some developer tools, and we actually get into that. We talk about those things, but it's broader than that, and it's about the Facebook community, what's happening, those types of pieces. And this one was particularly important, I think, because Facebook, really kind of had some mud on their face beginning this year with the whole data piece there, Cambridge Analytica, where acquired this data from this app along the way, and that was data was sold. Data was used in multiple ways to target people, and kind of it felt like a violation of you were getting ads that maybe you didn't want, that type of thing, and that you didn't give your information, your email address out to your ID, but you were still targeted on those pieces. So because of that, Facebook was kind of basically had to do some recovery and to say, what are we going to do? How are we going to do that to ensure we have people's trust? And so this was a key step in that process. I don't know about you, Jessica, but I mean, I've been even seeing television commercials from Facebook, which are kind of geared towards community, safety, feel good kind of things, talking about that, how they're dedicated to this. So they got a PR campaign going about this. And F8 continued that drum. This was a chance for Zuckerberg to really talk about it and to try to ensure people building trust, coming back to core security things, what they're going to do with that piece. So they rolled out some new things. That's what we want to talk about. They talked about security. We want to talk about that, but that gives you a little overview on the history of F8 up to date. There we go.
Yeah, and you're right. Like Mark led out the conference, and it very much does remind me of like an Apple olden days, Steve Jobs, kind of announcement.
Yeah.
But it is still, like you said, primarily app developers that are there. Now they've invited some other partners and things like that to the conference, and then they stream it live, which is a huge thing. So everybody can tune in and watch. I watched it live there, and have shared it out with the team members and watched the replay. But everybody, I think, was wondering, is he going to address this Cambridge Analytica and, his whole talk with senators and whatnot? And he led right out with it and said it's been a tough year. And I really do want to, reassure everybody's confidence, especially, businesses and individuals in Facebook. And he really, hit home on saying that their whole thing with Facebook is that they're trying to bring people together. And they rolled that out with the latest newsfeed update a few months ago and said, this is our whole goal. Our whole goal with everything that we do with Facebook is to bring people closer together, whatever that looks like, because this is the one tool, he said, as he was in his dorm room, creating Facebook, that he was thinking back to, using the internet, and he could find anything that he wanted to find. He could research it and find it right there on Google or whatever he wanted, except for meaningful connections. And he really wants Facebook to go back to that meaningful connection state. And he said, they've been focusing on building these apps to bring the world closer together. And they said they're at 1% of their goal of doing this, which is blowing my mind, because I think Facebook, does bring people closer together already, but they're saying they're at 1% of their goal, and that's what their initiative has always been, is to bring people closer together. But they lost track while they were building on making sure too that there's some people that were not using this incredible feature for good, and they're going to make sure they're continuing to build, but also continuing to monitor, Russia and the politics and fake news and all these security things that have been brought up, that they said now, we realize we are responsible for protecting this baby that we've built, and we're going to ensure that that is done properly. So that was their very first announcement that they hit right out of the gate, is what they're going to do to ensure that security. So they've already rolled out a couple things. The first one being that they're going to start screening apps again. So the app platform is now open. It was, paused for a little bit. Now it's open again. So developers that are building great tools for Facebook to bring people closer together, they're now have that platform open. So they're going to screen them, do the checks, and then make sure that they're able to, be included into the platform. Another one, Mike, which you probably know and can explain, is how individuals can make sure that the apps that they're connected with, that they can check and screen those.
Yeah. So they're trying to give you more opportunities to basically kind of go into your account and to take a look at what apps you've signed up for. I mean, these can be things like, again, so we run TabSite, and so TabSite to function properly has to have some permissions, so we have to use their API to say, what pages do you, Jessica, manage? And then so we get that list, and then so you're in TabSite and you say, I want to connect my TabSite account to this page of those 10, 15, whatever it is, and then we have to identify what permissions that we're getting there, so that we can see what pages you manage, if there is the need to post on your behalf. So like if you want to send out if you want to post to your Facebook page via TabSite, well, we would need permission to do that. So they're trying to give you in your account settings basically the ability to look at that and to see what you've granted, when was last time you used, that type of thing, so that you can delete old ones that are no longer relevant. That's
Yep.
the key issue right there, probably.
Yeah, and they're blocking out how much data can be collected from you without your permission, because some of the apps were collecting not only your data, but friends and family, your connections data, to get more insight on you. So they're starting to block that out a little bit more and filter what information can be provided. And then one of my favorite announcements was complete transparency when it comes to ads as it relates to politics. Now you'll be able to see who is running the political ad, so it's clear. Who's this ad for? Who's it aimed to serve? Who's running it clearly? How much are they spending, and who are they targeting? Now that's going to be public data. Whereas before you had no idea, if this is an ad for right, left, or whatever, it was just an ad and you had to use your best judgment. But now it's clear right there how the ad's being ran, who it's being ran by, and what they're targeting. So you'll be able to see that and make your own judgments based on that. So those were all the things hit right out of the gate by Mr. Zuckerberg at the very beginning. And he said, again, our goal is to connect people and put people first. People being our end users, not advertisers, not businesses, even though they're making a whole heck of a lot of updates for business. It's going to benefit business, but their main goal is to make sure that the end user, us, as we're using this platform, that we are using it in the way that we intend to connect with family and friends first, including blocking out fake news as well, and doing a whole heck of a better job of screening these apps and rescreening them. So not just getting them in and they're providing this value, but going back and having checks and balances to make sure that they are being accurate and correct. One of the things I love that he said, he's like 1 in 3 marriages start on Facebook, and he's often greeted on the street with people with their child or children and say, "Thank you, we met here," which then led into his next announcement, which said, we are bringing people closer together, but there's no kind of like dating platform integrated into Facebook, and now there will be. So they are integrating this Facebook dating app integrated into Facebook, and it has some pretty cool settings that I've never heard before. The first one being that, so if you sign up, if you're single and you want to be included into this dating app, you would have to sign up another profile, and that profile is not public to your friends or family or anyone. It's only just secure to you. And then how it works is you're actually seeing all these events and things that are happening in your community that you can choose to unlock. Once you choose to unlock this event, then it releases your profile to all the other people that are attending this event that also have a dating profile app connected on Facebook. Then you have the option of text-only messages that can be sent back and forth, and one person has to initiate that conversation on a photo within the dating profile app of the person. So if I'm on the app and I see I unlock the event, I'm going to this event, it looks like a cool concert in the park, and I'm like, okay, I see these people that are going, and one of the person I'm interested in, I could click on their photos. I would have to comment on that photo to start the conversation, text only, so you don't have to worry about the other sites that get a bad rap for photos that are being sent, but text only. And then from there, you can then decide whether you want to respond back or not. And then all the messages are kept inside of another messaging platform. So it's outside of Messenger. It's another messaging platform within the dating profile app. You can choose to turn it on and off however you want. They're rolling this out now, but it's something cool. Who would have thought Facebook would be getting into this space, but they are, and they're really excited about it.
No, and I think one of the other things that stood out to me is it says Facebook explains potential matches will be recommended based on dating preferences, things in common, and mutual friends. So they're looking at your networks and saying, oh, these two people, they know, these common people, and they like these common things. I think this
and that's another good
this
point.
has potential.
They will not connect you with somebody that's in your friends list. If you already have the person in your friends list, you are not going to be paired with that person.
No, they assume you should already talk to them. They assume
you already have the opportunity to get connected or whatever with them. So they are not going to pair you up with anybody in your friends list. So that's another cool thing as well. So with all the data they have and all your likes and things that you're subscribing to, they'll be able to match you up. And the whole goal is to match you up in an event, that you're going to be attending. So the Facebook section where it's all the events in the Facebook local, the happenings and things that are going on, you'll have full access to all these events, and then decide which ones you want to go to. So, and potentially meet someone that way. They have lots of safety and security in mind with that. And again, they're only going to suggest people that are not in your friends list, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think it kind of, I think it makes sense. It's a logical thing. They have to be careful with it. They say they're going to be careful with it, and so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I'll share the link on it. It's called Face Date, and you can find out more information there on that. The next one I think businesses will be excited about, that Facebook announced that the Explore tab is going away. So their trial with that, it's still not changing up the newsfeed algorithm change. That is still, in fact, intact. However, you don't have to be worried about being banned kind of to the Explore Only tab. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because they said that they tried it out and they heard backlash from their users, so they've decided to start phasing this out. So the Explore tab is going away. So I know many brands were afraid, like, if I'm not producing engaging content, I'm only going to be able to be found on the Explore tab. Now that's not the case, but it does not guarantee that you're going to show up in the newsfeed either. You still have to write engaging, relevant content that's timely and engaging to your audience that they will want to connect with. And based on the engagement, not the likes, not the visibility, but the engagement on that post, then you show up in the news feed. If not, they'll have to go to your page tab like they were before.
Yep. So it's basically, it was just an irrelevant tool. It wasn't used. It was just cluttering some of the space there, particularly on a mobile device. You have a limited space, and so got rid of it. And so the saying holds true as well. Is how can you be a value-adding resource with content that people want to engage with, and how can your brand have a personality so that people understand who you are, want to interact with that. It attracts that type of reciprocal relationship with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Another one is the clear history tab
That's a
on
big one.
Facebook. Yeah, so this is a big one. So I don't know if you want to explain cookies and how they work, but basically you'll be able to clear this out if you want to start over.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the big things that a lot of people were surprised about, that they thought that, if I'm not in Facebook and I'm just surfing the web, that there's no other trace of me. But in actuality, there could be. And so there can be, retargeting pixels, all this type of thing. So it's you go to a site, it has a retargeting pixel, and then you come back to Facebook, you start seeing ads for that. So there was some data. Facebook knew you were on that website, all those types of pieces. And so there's mechanisms that Facebook can learn and gather information about you outside of Facebook on the web while you're on the web. And again, using Facebook login somewhere, so a lot of websites use that. A lot of things that you can sign up for will allow you to have a Facebook login. Our friends over at Agora Pulse, that's one of the ways that you can log in to Agora Pulse. So Facebook knows that information, that I like Agora Pulse, that type of thing, for using that type of tool. So what they're doing to help, again, safeguard people is giving a clear history option. And so this is a privacy tool that allows a user to delete the Facebook data that was collected from the sites and apps that are used in its ads and analytics tool there. So it does give you the ability to wipe that information out, things that were tracked in these other sources. Okay, so that's an analytics tool that allows you to do that. Tab site, we use that Facebook login as well. So just be aware, you use this, you come back to tab site, you hit the button, you're going to have to go through that process again because you deleted us being able to remember you based on that Facebook login. So that's just one of the pieces. But if you're trying to clear your world out and ensure that you have a fresh slate, they give you the easy ability to do that now with clear history.
Yeah, and he did mention, like, although this is here and you may be tempted to do it because you're like, hey, I just want to clear it out. I want to start over, like you said. I don't want to be targeted for these ads anymore, and I just want to start fresh. That's all well and good. However, if you've ever used cookies before, basically cookies, that everybody uses it unless you have it blocked. But the sites are collecting information on you to help you to make the process more relatable to you and what you're interested in. So, for example, and just ease of use. So if I'm going to Agora Pulse, like you mentioned, they've already collected the data on me, so it's already kind of connected to my Facebook page and I can easily log in. If I've cleared that history, then I'm going to have to refill out all that information, potentially download something, whatever, and it's going to be time consuming. Not just that, but Facebook is collecting, it's a smart analytics tool, so it's collecting information on you based on what you've said and interacted with, things that you like. So hopefully your newsfeed is to your liking because it's collected some information on you, so it knows what kinds of content that you're most likely going to engage with and delivers it up that way. So if you clear it out, you're kind of starting from scratch and they're trying to learn your behaviors again to customize your news feed, the ads, and things around what you're going to like and what things that you're most likely going to engage with. So yes, it's there for people that really want it, but just know that it's collecting the data for a reason, not just for ads, but more so your newsfeed is then specific to the things that you're most likely going to engage with.
Yep.
That way.
Very good. I think, again, shows Facebook's trying to give you options, give you tools to allow you to feel like that you have management capability, control of, what you are giving to them, the data that they have. So it's significant. And then,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
we get into some of the big things, right?
Yes. So one of the big things is Facebook is partnering, and they announced last year that they want to do a lot more with VR, AR, augmented reality, virtual reality, and now they're taking a huge leap forward with that, and they're announced Oculus Go, which is going to be Facebook related VR headset that you can get now, that they want to make sure that everyone can get this in their home and that's priced accordingly. So it went live last week. It's only $199. You get the Oculus Go, and it's affordable headset that can do a lot. They even announced with that partnership this road to VR is what they called it, and we've heard of R&D for testing, research and development, but they're launching this big program called FRL, so Facebook Reality Labs, where they're going to be testing so much in virtual reality and the apps that they're bringing to Facebook, but they want to make this a huge part of where Facebook is going. They want to make sure it's a big part of where brands as well. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means for brands in virtual reality, but also for us and the way that we're communicating. They want to make it so if we're having a conversation, Mike, here and live, that we could potentially do this with a VR headset, that we feel like we're in the same room having this conversation together, where we're seeing each other, we're hearing each other, and we could potentially change our background in the Facebook spaces to where it's maybe in our office or maybe it's a stage somewhere, but you can bring others in and where you can hang out in virtual reality and have watch parties even. There's so much that they're planning with this road to VR that some of it's that's already out today. And if you are remotely interested in virtual reality or augmented reality, I highly recommend that you follow Kathy Hackles. She's been a guest on here before, and she is fully immersed in this immersive technology. And some of the things that she shares on her page, I'm just blown away with what's to come, because she's testing some of the stuff out now and using it. Mari Smith even I've seen her and some of the watch parties that she's started playing around with. But this partnership is making it affordable for people to get involved with virtual reality, one, so they have the headset, and two, with Facebook saying that they want to bring this to every household, there's going to be a lot of introductory things to get people comfortable with it so they can bring it to the masses.
Absolutely. It shows a roadmap to try to bring it to the masses, which is still the biggest gap that's hindering this, right? Kathy's just on the forefront of it. And it's, some big brands are doing some things with it. You see it, little pieces at trade shows, that type of thing. But it's an aggressive plan. And, hopefully we'll get to see it there, because with that kind of bring it to the masses is the key.
I just ordered one of the headsets, so I'll let
you
know how it goes. But that's really affordable. I mean, if you think about it, most of us are spending more than that on our iPhones, right? So this piece of tech that is going to take it that much further. And maybe people don't look at it like the iPhone yet because our phones do so much. But brands, I would purchase, even if it's just like, a $15 one that you can get. It's like an Amazon or something, the old school VR headsets that you can just plug in your phone with. Start playing around with it now, trying it out, because it is coming, and it's going to start coming a lot more rapidly, especially with people like Facebook behind it. That's their mission, is to bring it to the masses. So the more that you can play around with it now and start getting comfortable, the better. I'm so excited. I just had a call with one of our clients earlier today, and they are really excited about it. So they want to bring it and create their live demo of their tool in a virtual reality setting, where they're gonna start with 360, and then they're going to develop from there. So at trade shows, because this tool is massive, right? And they can't bring the tool in. But at trade shows, they could bring a live demo and say, hey, put on these goggles. I want to show you how my tool works, and you can watch this live demo and see it in action. It's going to be a lot more believable and connect with the senses more if somebody's immersed in it right there, than them watching a video that's playing on an iPad or something there, or a brochure. They're going to be able to get you in and feeling what it feels like to run this tool and to experience there. Not only will they be able to do it there, but now you'll be able to bring this into Facebook. So think about it on your Facebook page, and anybody that has one of these headsets, you'll be able to show it to them right there. not just that, but they're bringing in a lot with augmented reality and virtual reality as it relates to the marketplace. So what you'll be able to do is if you see a sneaker, let's just say there's stickers and different filters and things that you can play around with. I think Nike maybe was the shoe that they used as an example. But if you interacted with this, then you could literally go into Messenger and say, hey, I want that sneaker, and be able to purchase it right through your Messenger. So they're integrating augmented reality with Messenger and with Marketplace all together to make this a seamless experience. So if you are having an experience with a product, you can engage with the product there, bring it up and view this sneaker, for example, 360 view, right? Get a good look at it to make sure it's something you want to purchase, and then purchase it, versus you're looking at a flat image of something and scrolling through these pictures and zooming in and out. Now you'll be able to rotate it in like a 3D kind of way and really get a good look at the product that you're wanting to purchase, and be able to purchase it right through saying, hey, I want this. They send you back your information. A lot of times you already have your payment method connected to Facebook. Think of how fast products are going to get into our hands. So if you're somebody that's selling a product, you know, these are what some of these other companies are starting to already make headway in now. Think about how you can bring your product into this future as well, so you're not, you know, playing catch up later.
Yep. Here we go.
I'll share a link on that.
You got the link? Okay. I'll keep moving on that then, and
Sure.
just talk about another update. So F8 is that time when they're rolling out pieces. They talked about some additions to Facebook Messenger. So Facebook Messenger is obviously the chat tool in between. It's got its own app. It's one of the most popular apps in the App Store, growing for them. They consider that a separate, technically, service to Facebook, although there's lots of integrations with it. And what they're going to do is start more translation. So it's going to be rolling out chat translation, which I think is going to be a helpful thing. So they're using their M suggestions, starting out slow with English-Spanish conversion for users in the US who start a conversation through Facebook, and you know, doing some more there. So I have actually seen this in Marketplace. It's that's their peer-to-peer commerce feature there, and so when you're in Marketplace, if you kind of experience this firsthand, where it's helping, you know, make some of those pieces for you there. But in the coming weeks, all U.S. Messenger users will get access to this. So it's one of those rollouts again over time to launch this functionality. And again, the goal: additional languages, additional countries. But I think this is a key tool helping people get connected and stay connected, but particularly for their marketplace. It's a great idea there, because Marketplace is based on Messenger as well, conversations there, and you still want to sell something, but if you had a language barrier, that kind of ended it, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the same client that I'm talking about with this VR tech.
Okay.
They've had people purchase products from them from China. Okay, so the first time a message came in, we were like, okay, wow, this is cool. It's from China, and we got to talking, and for whatever reason, like their website, they could not get to the website, and vice versa. They were having issues with email back and forth. So all of the transactions, every conversation, everything happened on Facebook Messenger. Not just one deal. This gentleman has purchased multiple other tools that are upwards of $25,000. All of the transactions have taken place in Facebook Messenger from there. And so this is a huge opportunity for translation, for communication back and forth, to save data. You can literally do sales processes, everything through your Facebook Business Messenger. They're adding more features in there. They're also stripping some away because they realized it was bloated. So they're just cleaning it up. Not just that, with the Messenger app, as you're talking about the translation, they announced cleaning up, making it more simplistic, getting rid of some of the bloat items, and just making it easier to use. But then also a cool update as well is night mode, because it's harder to read in the Messenger app sometimes at night. So they're showing off kind of the night mode of what Messenger will turn into, and making it easier to read on your screen, that kind of thing.
Yep, that's another good tool, just a useful utility. And all right, where are we at here? Introducing VR memories and 3D photos.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to dive into that one?
Sure. Yeah. So this is kind of cool. It's just an extra little thing by Facebook to bring our memories to life. I don't know about you, Mike, but like every day, Facebook, as I check my Facebook app, it shares with me memories from the year before and then multiple years before that. So you kind of get to relive, those moments that you had. Well, now Facebook's taking it a step further. So what they're doing is turning your Facebook albums and some of your memories that you've shared in your photos and bringing it to life. So it'll make like a mosaic or create it as a space that you can kind of hang out in within virtual reality. So it's bringing your photos to life. So you're able to, kind of blow it up, hang out in it. They share some cool examples of this, but it's another way of reliving some of those moments. Maybe I'm hanging out with a cousin or something and I want to, bring in the photos and we are both experiencing it together in this room, kind of viewing the photos together.
Nice,
So it's just a
nice.
little extra.
Yep.
So
Yep.
VR memories, you can bring it to life, which I think it's really cool. If you've lost someone, you can, maybe have a celebration of their life, and, bring in family members and literally all sit in the room, hang out in the Facebook spaces, and then bring those photos back to life.
Interesting. Yes. A nice way to use the tool for sure.
Hmm.
Well, Facebook continues to evolve some of their other tools, Facebook groups, and this is just something you should be aware of. Hopefully you are. I mean, that it's, they kind of moved from that standalone app, but they have 1.3 billion people using groups now. It's growing faster
Hmm.
than anything else. So we've seen some transition to Facebook groups being used for all kinds of things, but for communities, okay, one to many as people are talking within that. Um, so I think that you're just going to continue to see some evolution within Facebook groups.
Yeah, so not only have they brought the analytics into Facebook groups already, the scheduling the post, the vanity URLs, the going live within groups, the groups within the groups, additional admin settings there, business pages being able to create groups. But now Facebook's going to be pushing groups. Yay, our prediction at the beginning of the year is coming into fruition. They're going to be pushing and inviting you to join groups that are related to your niche. So the more niche that you can be in specific with your group, so they have tags and everything in there, the better. But Facebook thinks that groups are the place that are going to build community. So besides our one-to-one connection, Facebook is all about, and the same thing with why they're creating this dating site and then only inviting, people to hang out within events and groups that they'd both be interested in. So groups are going to have a huge win in the years to come because they're created around a community of like-minded individuals that all have a passion for something. So if you are in a group, you can relate, the good groups, I should say, that are built around a passion and that are actively managed. These kinds of groups are going to start thriving even more so than business pages because they're all surrounded and connected with like-minded individuals that are within it. So if you are considering having a niche group for your customers or for thought leaders that you connect with or whomever will connect around your passion, I encourage you to build it now and have a community manager for that group. Make sure it stays active, make sure it's clear on what the purpose is of this group, and that you're very active within it. I know you have several groups, Mike, that you manage. I know we have one just for our Social Media Week Lima attendees.
Yep.
So people get a chance to get connected ahead of time. It's just a lot more intimate and personal than, having just our business page where we're sharing out posts. Here we're able to have a deeper, more meaningful conversation on there. And then we also have, a group around people that are just want to stay up in the know on all things that are changing and evolving in social media. So those kinds of things, you can kind of see how it's being used that way. But I've seen running groups, I've seen mom-to-mom peer groups, I've seen all of them that really do a really nice job on connecting people and have made some good friendships from that.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. Let's see. I know we're wrapping up on our time here. So
Sure.
what do you feel
Yeah.
like is going to be important to still highlight yet
Sure.
with the F8 meeting?
So we haven't even got into Instagram yet, but I'll hit on a couple other things. So WhatsApp. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. They're kind of the largest tool that's out there. It's already over 450 million users of the tool, and what they're doing is now opening it up to businesses. So they already started testing this, but WhatsApp is a communication tool. It's very simplistic. It's text, call, messaging, back and forth, photo sharing, video, all of that within its tool. And I have heard a lot of people that use it. It is open to more areas than anything that I've seen as far as other countries are concerned.
Worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, and it's double encrypted, so all the messages that are sent and they do not store anything. So a lot of people feel very comfortable using it as far as privacy and security are concerned. But another thing is it's one of the most stable of all the platforms. So they mentioned, I can't remember which event it was. I don't remember if it was an earthquake or a hurricane. But when everything else was down and out, WhatsApp was the last thing standing as far as communication is concerned. So the stability is there as well. So not only is it a great tool for that, but it's now opening to businesses. So businesses can go to whatsapp.com/business. They can create a profile there, which makes it very easy to integrate their customer list, or you can actually label your contacts, I should say, whether it's a customer, lead, whatever, right within there. It does allow for quick messaging and replying back, and allows like directions, connections to your store and your information, your website, videos, all of that within its tool. So it's a very quick, easy way to have a messaging platform for your customers that are using this, especially if you're serving people that are outside the US. This would be a wise decision for you to get on to WhatsApp Business. So that's a big rollout for WhatsApp. And then there were several from Instagram. I don't know if you want to hit any or you want me to run through them real quick.
Yeah, I mean, just briefly that Instagram has added Spotify, GoPro, and video chat, and an AR camera effects. I mean, come on, boom, 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 boom. I mean, I would just stop at number
really
one.
cool.
I
I'm
mean, Spotify, that's
excited
nice right there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so like so they said they noticed like a lot of people are sharing like screenshots of what they're listening to, or they're listening to music. Now, if you don't really have something you want to say as far as a photo is concerned, you can literally just do an update and let people know what you're listening to. And sometimes that speaks 1,000 words. The mood that you're in, whatever, the song you listen to. I've shared that before. Like, here's just a YouTube link to the song I listen to because I want others to experience it with me, right? So same thing, they're connecting in Spotify, they're connecting it to the app there, and then GoPro, so you can literally have your GoPro on and be doing something awesome. I think of Josh Chertnick, who's Post Planner gentleman?
Parkin.
That guy from Post Planner, Josh. But he's always doing something crazy on his skateboard and like live streaming it and stuff and doing these GoPro videos, and his kids are like jumping off cliffs. They're like amazing. Could be crazy. But I love it. I love watching it. So him, and I can imagine like Casey Neistat and some of the others, but now they can connect in their GoPro, go share through the stories that way, the stories app, and live stream that right from their GoPro. I'll get it right. Which I think is really cool that way. But then live video chatting. So they shared an example of, like, let's say you and I and some other people at Social Media Week Lime are looking for a place to go out to eat afterward. We can all jump into a video chat, and let's say we're talking about it. I can then stay in that video chat where you're seeing me, but go explore on my phone local places that are available to eat. I can bring in my my website browser, search it. You guys can't see my phone screen at that time, but you can still see me. And then I can say, okay, let's go to the Met, right? And then I can drag in the directions and all the information about the Met into our call, update everyone, do a poll, make sure that's where everyone wants to go, and then we can go from there. So really cool integrations with the video chat across multiple people, and then syncing in the links, that kind of thing. They're also adding a ton of stickers everywhere. If you've tried uploading a photo to Facebook business page today, they're trying to do a lot more with AR and with stickers and that kind of thing. So they're opening up to creators to create these things and then bringing it in. So if you're updating a photo on Facebook or Instagram or on WhatsApp, you'll notice a whole new suite of stickers and filters and all kinds of things that will now be available to you, just to make it a little bit more personalized to you, and so people can get a sense of what you like. So the same example with the sneaker, you could use earlier as we were talking about to get a view of it, you could use that as a sticker, then bring it in to actually go to the product and say, hey, here's the ones that I just got. Somebody else can take a peek at it, look at it, then click and link to get a 3D view of it and then purchase it all within that seamless process. So that's just like a high view overview of what all was announced. I know we're kind of shorter on time, but that's the biggest highlights, I would say. I'm just scanning through my notes here to make sure I didn't miss anything big. But I would say the biggest ones, AR, VR, what they're doing with security and apps, the integrations with video, things that they're doing as well. And yeah, just there's the integrations with the business pages with groups and some of the updates there, I would say, were probably the biggest highlights and takeaways.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. No, I think I think Facebook really did some good, quick work, soul searching work after the Cambridge Analytics kind of debacle, and has responded well, digging in, and is showing some consistency in positive efforts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, like I still don't feel like it as much their fault. I'm probably in the minority here, or I'm just naive. But I'm glad that they are stepping up though and taking responsibility for what someone else has done to tarnish kind of their name. And I think they've restored, faith, at least in everyone that I've talked with. They've taken it serious, and they're doing a lot to block out fake news and to make sure that the partners are worth being partnered with. So everyone, stays in Facebook we trust, and using the platform.
Right.
And I think they're doing a good job with it. So.
And some of these innovations are tremendous, and I think that helps retain, users. And
1% done.
Yeah.
1%. Yeah, I'm super excited what's to come with VR and AR. I'm going to be picking Kathy's brain a ton when she's here in Lima.
She's coming.
Week. Yeah.
Social Media Week, Lima, June 20,
yes.
21. She's going to be there.
Yeah, so we'll be diving in on a lot of the things that Facebook's moving towards, and what we've heard here, especially when it comes to live video, creating better stories and relevant content that's building relationships. People first. They're saying it. Everywhere you hear, it's people first. It's all about building relationships, connecting with people like in a meaningful way, so they want to stay connected with you and then in turn buy from you. But even better than that, create that repeat referral business for you. So we'll be talking about that at Social Media Week Lima in Ohio here, June 20th, 21st. If you're interested in deep diving on these topics and meeting some of the thought leaders that will be covering it, practitioners that will be covering these topics, you can join us. You can go to sociallima.com, use code NOW, all caps 50, to save from watching this video, and it will be a good time. I'm super excited for it.
Here we go.
Mike, you'll be there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm
Speaking
coming
as well. All right. Well, thanks, Mike, for your time. Thank all of you for joining in with us today. I appreciate you, as always, spending some time with us. If you're interested in learning more about what we're talking about next week, you can go to magnetmarketers.com and subscribe. We will send you an email on what our topic is and send it out to you so you can join in with us every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Magnet Marketers, where our goal is always to help you become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. Thanks so much, Mike.
Sounds
Have a
good.
Rest of your week.
All right. Take care.
See ya. Bye.